A few days ago, I asked the internet, what is it that makes you a good artist?
A designer, a teacher, and a friend. His show will make you laugh and entertain you to the end. He shares his life on video for you to get inspired. He doesn't take himself too serious, so just subscribe. Love pizza, love dolls, and love Nutella. Fabio will take you around with him and show you how La Vita è Bella. Hey.
If you have been watching the vlog for a while now, you know I work in the field of architectural visualization. This job is somehow related to the brighter realm of the creative arts and computer graphics. Before we continue, I have to say that quite a few comments on my post were about the fact that probably what we do isn't necessarily art, but rather providing a service for a client. Partly, I do understand that point of view, and I share that opinion as well, but not fully, and I will try to explain why. But first, I would like to read you some of the comments. So Domenico says, having enough time available. Michela says, never stop learning. Fabio says, time, persistence, talent. Jens try to discern from good artists that know how to sell themselves and those who are good at craftsmen. That's of course also interesting. Christian says, be humble. Andrea says, that's very interesting. Being an artist is a full-time job. This is the first time that we hear somebody talking about a job being owned by potential customers. I think that Andreas have very good points. I'll link all these comments into the video. Go check them out if you haven't followed this discussion already on my Facebook. So to be a good artist, it seems to be clear. You need to have patience, you need to have discipline in order to continue educate yourself through and through, as well as practicing your craft while studying more art, and you need to be persistent. Unless you are a viral internet sensation, chances are you might spend your whole life in pursuing an artistic career, and not even that can guarantee you success. Success. That is also a key word. I've made a whole video about defining success. I'm gonna link it somewhere up here. If you have not watched it, I recommend you do. In short, a successful artist does things that he, she likes, things that others like, has financial independence, and have time for themselves. Whoa, if I say it like this, it sounds extremely easy. In reality, very often, all these small prerequisites seem to push one another away. For instance, client comes with a very interesting experimental brief, very interesting job, no deadline, but the lowest budget ever. We will pay you with pizza. I'll still take that job. God, I love pizza. I miss pizza. Some other times it's completely the opposite. Client brief is boring, but they have a great budget. Usually it's never great, but we're gonna say it's great. Only a few days to deliver the project. No strings attached. Very low risk. It would be stupid not to do that job. I know what you're thinking. In most cases, the scenario is very much different. Boring job, shitty budget, and the typical horrible phrase, I need this work done yesterday. Personally, I've seen it all. Now, I realize that I'm jumping all over the place and this video could spin around and branch out to other topics, so I'll try to go back on track. I do agree that for what we do, we should consider ourselves a little bit of a service provider. In fact, art, in the most conventional sense, is the one that somebody produces on their own terms. It is the maximum expression of your inner self. Then, of course, if you're lucky enough and you know how to do it, you can sell that art, but this is a topic for another video. Selling art should not be the main focus, because the moment you start selling art and somebody asks you to do something artistic for them, it becomes a job, and then money comes in. Money is a bias, so all of a sudden what you thought it was art, it's not art anymore, it's something that somebody is asking you to do, so it becomes a job. It's all very confusing, right? Okay, now with that said, say that a job comes in and you, thanks to your experience, to your skill, to your taste and feel, think that can take this job and make it better, and you can improve the outcome, you are in a way approaching that job as an artist. Therefore, you should get extra credit and recognition for it. I can make you an example using my own work. At the very beginning of my career, I think it was 2012, a Viennese rock band asked me to make them a cover for their album. The album, I think, was called Alone. The brief was very simple. The guy said, we want a room that recalls emptiness and sadness. We want it to be very simple. We want it to be dark. We want it to be emotional. We want it to be minimal. And we have a 500 euros budget. In my head, I was like, whoa, 500 euros for 2 days of work? If I can do this for my entire life, I'll be driving a Ferrari in no time. Let's do it. Whilst preparing the artwork and looking at it, I was like, I don't know, I got to think that the picture in a way was empty. It didn't really give the feeling that I was trying to communicate, although I was sticking to the brief perfectly, and I think I was doing an extremely good job for having very little skills at that time. So at one point I started to look at the picture and I remember thinking, what is it that makes me feel lonely? So suddenly I got this picture of myself in my head of me being a very small kid waiting for my father to come back from work, and somehow this picture got stuck into my head. So I said, you know what? Let's copy and paste it into this artwork and let's see what the outcome is. I go to the client, I present this idea, explain the thought process, the client looks at it and says, whoa, we love it. I was over the moon. 3 days go by, the client calls me, tell me that the band split up and they could not pay me anymore. Fuck! You know what? It was my fault and my fault only. I did not ask for deposit. I built my expectations really high. In the end, I got discouraged and disappointed, but it was my fault. And you know, although I have taken some extra classes on business management and communication, believe it or not, sometimes when a very exciting job comes in, I still make the same mistakes. I was surprised after asking on Facebook what makes you a good artist, how very little people mention anything about the financial and management aspect of doing this job. Probably, I think it is about time that we, as a community, start doing this collectively. Myself, personally, I'm ready to start this type of conversation. I think it is necessary for the professional growth of every artist. I don't think these things apply only to the field of 3D and visualization. I think that there are so many disciplines which are overlapping that could benefit from a healthy professional discussion. Anyway, do you guys feel like I've left something out? Did I forget something? Do you feel like adding something else? Let me know in the comment section. It might be good for everybody. Anyway, as always, my name is Fabio Palvelli. Hit the like button if you like what I'm doing here. Do not forget to subscribe, and I will see you at the next video. Bye!